Welcome to our sport of clay target shooting. I'm Russell Mark.
Hi, I'm Laura Mark. Clay target shooting has provided Russell and I with a lot of enjoyment through the years. It has also given us the opportunity to travel worldwide to a lot of different clubs representing Australia at various levels of competition.
Whatever discipline of shooting you decide to join into, you'll find it challenging for all members of the family.
The great thing about our sport is that it's quite versatile. It caters for shooters starting in the sport at age 12 and continues on for members in their 80s.
There are 4 disciplines of clay target shooting. There's skeet, sporting clays and down the line. If you master any of these 3 events, you may want to try the 4th discipline, which involve the Olympic events. Hopefully this video will give you enough advice to get you started. Remember, get to know your club coach, as he or she will assist you getting involved in the sport quickly and get you shooting very consistently and as quickly as possible. Good luck.
Clay target shooting is a sport that is growing in popularity, especially after recent Olympic successes. Within clay target shooting, there are several disciplines. Down the line, or DTL, may be your first introduction to shooting clay targets. DTL offers the beginner the chance to hit clay targets regularly rather than occasionally. For the more experienced shooter, it offers the challenge of achieving that elusive clean round. You know, shooting every target released in the event. So what exactly is DTL, and how do we start? This video will explain this with the help of Colin Witt.
Whoa!
Hi, my name's Colin Witt. What we're going to do today is explain to you the operations of a down-the-line layout. We're going to look at the trap, the scoring systems to be used. We'll do a most important section on firearm safety and club etiquette. Finally, we'll take you through a session with a novice shooter and teach them the art of down-the-line shooting. And at the end of it all, hopefully we'll break a few targets.
DTL is about shooting rising targets that are going away from you. For example, you shoot from behind the target as it flies away, so you are shooting down the line of flight. The targets are thrown from a trap, which is a machine with a rotating arm, loaded by a spring and activated by an electric solenoid. You'll stand at each of 5 positions in an arc 15 metres behind the trap house. The targets are thrown in a similar arc on the other side of the trap. Whoa. However, you never know what angle they're going to take within that arc. In a standard setup, the height of the target is quite low and it is generally constant, so you always know the vertical angle and the speed at which the target will come out of the trap house. It will fall back to earth about 46 metres from the trap. So that's the format of down the line. You shoot in order from each of 5 positions behind the trap. The trajectory of the target is consistent, but the horizontal angle varies within the arc. The relatively small number of unknown quantities is what makes DTL a good starting discipline for the beginner. It helps build the consistency and confidence that is necessary for any of the shooting disciplines. Some shooters see it as boring. The demands DTL makes on skill and concentration are formidable. Anyone who can achieve a clean round can be justly proud. Whoa. Scoring in DTL is performed in either of 2 ways. 1 point for a hit with either barrel, or 3 points for a hit with the first cartridge and 2 for the second cartridge, and no score for a complete miss with both barrels. The ability to break a target with the second barrel is an important skill for the experienced shooter. Competitions are usually shot in multiples or rounds of 25 targets. One shooter stands on each mark and shoots in a predefined order. Then everybody moves 1 lane to their right, following their shot. So before we actually get out on the range, I'd like to take some time to discuss firearm and personal safety, as this is a vital aspect of all shooting sports. In careless hands, guns can be potentially lethal.
I'd like to talk about personal safety. It's very important. One thing you must do is wear eye protection in the form of a pair of shooting glasses. Absolute must for the safety for your eyes and protection of your eyes. Hearing protection is also another issue, whether you use little plugs like these or even a full set of hearing muffs The constant exposure to shotguns can cause a gradual loss of hearing, and it's recommended that you wear something like that. Nice, open, suitable clothing is also a very important part. It doesn't restrict your movement, allows you to swing your shotgun. And finally, suitable footwear. They not only assist a stable stance, but they do protect your feet. Thongs and open-toed shoes are not able to be used in clay target shooting. Safety on the range is a very important thing. When you pick up a gun that is closed, the first thing you do is open it to make sure that it's empty. That's the way you carry a shotgun around a shooting layout. If you happen to use a semi-automatic, most important there that you lock your slide action in the open position, again ensuring to everybody that the gun is in fact empty. If you wish to carry your shotgun over your shoulder, firstly it's got to be broken open and the muzzle must be in front of you so you can be muzzle conscious at all times. And finally, storing your shotgun. They should be stored in the confines of your car or in some controlled environment around the clubhouse. This day and age, the use of an open rack like this is not allowed. In clay target shooting, we never use the safety catch. It's always left in the on position, ready to fire. You never stand forward of the position that's being used by your competitors. When you load your gun, you one shell in the bottom barrel, at all times having your gun pointing towards the trap house. When your gun's closed, you never turn back towards the referee for assistance. If you're having a problem, put up your hand, call for your coach or the referee. When you're moving from lane 5 to lane 1, always make sure your gun is open. You remove the ammunition before you walk behind the referee. And finally, if the red flag comes up when you're about to shoot or when you are shooting, that's an immediate direction to cease shooting. Break your gun open, remove your cartridges until the flag goes down again.
Getting the right gun for the job is very important because there are lots of different guns available and you need a suitable gun for trap shooting. Trap guns come with barrel lengths normally between 70 centimetres and 82. This is a choice based on experience and personal preference, and one that beginners shouldn't be too concerned about. The choke provides a controlling factor on the density of the spread of the shot after it leaves the barrels. A full choke means the shot is squeezed together into a denser pattern, therefore it tends to spread less. 3/4 choke gives you a wider spread, and a half choke is even wider again. Acceptable choking for DTL shotguns tends to be a half or 3/4 choke on the bottom barrel, and a corresponding 3/4 or full choke on the top barrel. Even if your gun has removable or adjustable chokes, it is advised that you stick within this range. The reason for this is simple. Because you are shooting down the line, when you fire the second barrel, the target is further away, and since the shot spreads the further it travels, you need a denser pattern on your second barrel to make sure you break the target. Part of getting the right gun is making sure that it fits you. This can be tricky for the beginner, as you have not yet achieved the consistency of mounting the gun. That lets you decide whether it's the gun that is wrong or it's you. The best bet for the beginner is to take advice from your club coach and try a few different guns. When you are ready to make a purchase, consult a reputable gun dealer. For the more experienced shooter, careful attention to gun fit can produce improvements in your shooting, as it's vital that you mount your gun correctly at all times before you start to play around with its fit. So now we should look at gun mounting and come back to the question of gun fit.
We're going to look now at gun mount. It's all important to bring the gun to your head. You'll notice there, I brought the gun up to my head. I didn't mount the gun and push my head down to it. To be successful, you must attempt to mount the gun in the same place every time. If you don't mount the gun in this place, we have no base to correct any errors from. We're going to attempt to get about 50 millimetres between the thumb and your nose on the comb of the gun. When I'm up there, I'm looking straight down the rib and I can see the bead quite clearly. We're going to talk now about how we actually hold the gun. My left hand is on the fore end, about halfway along. It's just a nice comfortable grip without it being vice-like. And you'll notice my index finger is running parallel with the barrel. My right hand grasps the pistol grip. My trigger finger goes through onto the trigger and grips the trigger on the first joint of that index finger. That way, it gives you good control as you mount the shotgun. We should do a check to see which is your dominant eye. Take a piece of card with a 25mm hole in it, hold it in front of you with both eyes open and look at a distant object. As you alternate and open and close your eyes, you'll notice one eye is viewing that distant object. That is your dominant eye. And if you're not shooting from the same side as your dominant eye, I'd discuss it with your coach for a few adjustments that may be necessary. Before we go out on the shooting lanes, I'd like to discuss with you a few recommended feet positions to help you with your shooting. What I'd like you to do is to stand normally with your feet about 300mm apart. I'd like you to consider an imaginary line joining the diagonals of the shooting block. What you see here is for a right-handed shooter on lane 1. Obviously, if you're a left-hander, we need to mirror reverse these positions. Ideally, you should straddle the imaginary line to assist you in your swing to your target. You should put about 2/3 of your weight on your front leg, as this too will assist with swing. On lanes 2 to 5, you should adopt a similar position with your feet, as shown with the feet position guides. With this stance on lane 1, you're positioning yourself for an extreme left-hander. On lane 2, your position is still to cover a left-hand target. On lane 3, you're positioning your feet to allow swing in equal direction. On lane 4, you're positioning your feet to start to cover a target going to the right. On lane 5, you're positioning your feet to cover an extreme right-hand target.
So your stance is fine and you're holding the gun properly. Your face is against the stock and your eye is aligned with the barrel. So what should you see and what should your coach see when checking your head and gun mount? Ideally, if you have a mid-rib sight, as well as the foresight, you will see your figure of 8 and be looking down the barrel and out to your target. A problem in gun fit is that you can get the right sight picture on a badly set up gun by moving and adjusting your head relative to the stock. This can be achieved by forcing the stock into your cheek or by lifting your head away from the stock when aligning the beads. Both these methods can be uncomfortable and inefficient and will lead to inconsistency. So the answer is to have your gun set up so you get the right sight picture with your cheek firmly but comfortably against the stock. And that takes us back to gun fitting. There are many different aspects to gun fit. We're going to look at 3 of the most important ones. These are length of stock, grips, and comb height. So how do you know the right length of stock for you?
What we might perform now is a quick do-it-yourself guide to gun fit. Firstly, the gun is empty. To check to see whether the gun is actually going to be roughly suitable for you to use, lay the stock along your forearm with the butt against the upper part of your arm. If your finger protrudes too far through the trigger guard, the gun is probably going to be too short for me. So let's try another one. Again, lay the gun along the arm. If the trigger finger comes through and roughly falls on the first joint, that gun is probably going to be suitable for me to use in down the line shooting.
You can see why it's important to be able to achieve correct mounting before thinking too much about gun fitting. Pistol grips are often overlooked, but they are very important as they have a dramatic effect on your backhand. They are worth thinking about when buying a gun, as they are a lot more difficult to adjust later than stock length or comb height. The comb of the stock is the top edge from the rear of the pistol grip to the butt plate. If the comb is too high, this will make sighting uncomfortable and the gun will shoot high. It is also likely to give you a bruised cheek. Too low a comb on a trap gun and the ribbon foresight will disappear and cause the gun to shoot low. If your chosen gun is too high or too low, a comb adjustment can be made to your gun. By fitting an adjustable comb, your gun can be tweaked to align your eye perfectly along the rib. So now you have your gun set up correctly and your mounting is consistent to your face. So let's shoot a few targets.
Righto, Robbie, we'll take you up here now and let you have a few shots and just see how you're going to go here this afternoon. Remember just to relax, make yourself as comfortable as you can, head on the gun and then see the target before you pull the trigger. So just have a couple of shots and we'll just see how you look. That's it, one shell only.
Oh.
Just either caress the gun with the side of your mouth on the comb, or just pick up a little bit of cheekbone there and just put that on the top of the comb, whichever feels the most comfortable. I want you to be able to see right down the middle of that rib, and then when you can see that, and you'll see the target then on top of your bead when you shoot the target. And now we'll just get that gun up on your shoulder. Just let me get that down a little bit. Get your head in position. Now when you're ready, just call pull.
Oh.
Okay, you're rushing just a little bit there. We'll just do it one more time and we'll have another go at that.